Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back with Sentinel now, finally joining Marvel Strike Force here. So we're going to be doing a full kit review, as well as taking a look at T4 recommendations, ISO-8, and more importantly, getting his 7 red for the unlocking upgrade here. So Mutant Hunter, you can see what he's going to be bringing to the team is the addition of support for the team. Deflex, counters, defense up, you name it. He's going to be also the pseudo tank for the team and summoning more allies for respectively. Raids is where you're going to be seeing the majority of the value with him. And this has been the hardest section easily right now in the new Orchis tech nodes as well. So just something to be on the watch for as well. There's also going to be these new orbs coming. So they should be available now to preview. And how you're going to be earning these orbs is actually going through the milestone here that's tied back to your line. So to be honest, I'm not sure where it's located just yet. So let's take a look. It should be added into here now that his addition in the game is live. So it's right here. These Sentinel factory orbs right here earn progress. So we can even preview what the chances are of getting this. So they set a minimum of 1 shard. So there is a chance there's a guaranteed chance of 1 shard, but you can see there's that lottery pull of 100 shards. So that's going to be the golden ticket of what you want to be going for there. And, as suspected, Lady Deathstrike as well as Scientist Supreme shards. And then meanwhile, we're also getting, the additional cipher that's part of the event, and also raid energy. That's pretty cool that you can actually get more of this to actually partake in the event. Now, I've been getting asked this quite a bit, folks, if I'm using power cores. To be honest, I have not decided yet. So if I do, I'll make a follow-up video, but right now I'm in horde mode because the big reason of me unlocking Annihilators was that way I can stay relevant in my arena meta and continue to build upon resources for power cores. So now that I'm out of that focus there, I don't know if I'll be using power cores just yet. I might actually equip a hybrid method where maybe I spend a bit just to dabble and that we get his unlocked for or earlier rather than later. But I'm gonna wait for their free-to-play event news that was announced earlier today. There's another blog post coming, so let's see what that says first before we open up any power cores. So in the meantime, I'm gonna pause. But otherwise, let's go ahead, let's get his 7 red here that we can take advantage of. If you recall with these orbs, you scroll all the way to the bottom, and we got most of our roster already in 7. So at this point, then it's just pulling for the 7 red, so that way we can get his guaranteed upgrade here. And boom, just like that, we finally got it. Okay, let's start taking a look here now at his kit. Okay, Sentinel Blast is the basic ability here. As you can see, he's going to be attacking the primary target for percentage damage. On top of that, every time he does actually use this ability, he's applying counters to himself and random Orchis allies, as well as offense down on the primary target. This does go up here on the final level 7 T4. It's going to be giving you counter for all Orchis allies. So I think this is going to be playing a heavy part in raids, more importantly. I think definitely this is going to be a luxury T4, but I do like the fact that it's applying to the entire Orchis ally, so I do like this T4. Let's take a look at his other abilities before we prioritize, but for sure this basic does have value because it's counting now everybody on the team. His special is called Neutralize Target. So he's going to be summoning a 1 random Sentinel reinforcement ally. On top of that, he's also going to be attacking for percentage damage and as well as adding deflex to himself and the rest of the Orchis allies. Remember, he is going to be, helping shoulder damage for the team. That's really where the utility comes in. But these reinforcement allies is what's going to make the dynamic interesting because they'll have different roles in the combat. With this ability as well, defense up is going to also apply. There's bonus attacks and as well as lasting for longer turns with the defense up. And again, at the very instance here that you upgrade, you're going to be applying some more deflex. So we'll take a look at the minions or Sentinel reinforcement allies after we conclude the kit. But for sure, I see the value of these T4s because it gives you that extra little luxury bonus here for additional deflex and as well as counters. We have Elimination Protocol being the ultimate ability. So this is how he's going to be summoning the random Sentinel reinforcement ally. So you can see attacking primary adjacent targets for percent damage as well as offense down. Possible summons include the gun or the sword variant of the Sentinel reinforcement. As this ability does get leveled up, he's going to be doing more damage per reinforcement ally. And as well, with the final T4, he's always going to be summoning 1 Sentinel reinforcement gun ally and sword. So this guarantees both being summoned in one instance. This is a T4 must-have to make his kit work because you'll see both these characters having some different usages. So for sure, this ultimate is a priority to T4 before the basic and the special. And then finally, we have the passive ability here called Mutant Hunter. On spawn and on revive, so we know there's gonna be some revives happening with Sentinel, which completely makes sense. And I love this nod to obviously the X-Men lore, is that he's also gonna be summoning a random Sentinel reinforcement ally, once again being the gun or sword variant. On this character's first turn, he passively does gain taunt. He also has the safeguard here with the upgrade as well. In raids, if this has 4 or more Orchis allies, enemies also cannot gain death proof. So this is what's going to give us a really meaningful advantage against these enemy raid teams, especially when they aren't able to, sustain themselves with the death proof. And then finally, the passive T4 here on this character's first turn, the safeguard applying for 2 full turns to all Orchis allies. So for sure, the ultimate and the passive, these are T4 priorities, whereas the basic and special, although they can have value, they're less important than the ultimate and passive, which make the kit overall for Sentinel work. Now guys, let's finally take a look at it. If you tap the summon tag at the very top here in the blue, it actually gives you access to both the minions that you can actually preview what their kits are like. So this is the gun, and this is the sword variant. So I love the detail they've added with just modifying them. So Sentinel Blast, basic ability, nothing crazy, just some additional damage here. But you can see in raids, he's going to also be shouldering some damage by gaining the taunt there as well. What's notable is with the upgrade here, he's going to be gaining the 10% on primary and adjacent targets. So keep in mind, in order to get access to level 7, you do actually need to upgrade, I believe, the special here. So if I back out here, where did we see the summon? So it is the special that you have to look at in terms of upgrading that final level 7. So that's something food for thought if you want to get access to this speed bar reduction. For that reason now, the special does make sense to actually T4. And then as well, the Mutant Hunter passive here, you can see on spawn, he's going to be flipping all negatives for himself and Orchis. In raids, on turn, if the Sentinel ally, in this case Sentinel, has died and is currently not an ally, he can actually revive Sentinel back and then attack self for 100% of the max HP. So basically, he's sacrificing himself to revive Sentinel back in battle. And as you level this ability up, you can see here that it actually does increase the max HP. And then finally, on turn as well, generating ability energy for a random non-summon tech ally. So I believe this is, because this is T5 passive, this is going to be tied back to the passives that we're doing as well with Sentinel. So you're going to be getting this naturally if you focus on the priority list. But for sure now, the special, the ultimate, and passives all make sense. This is for the gun variant. Now let's take a look at sword, what he's going to be doing. Basic ability, let's see if this is any different. Also flipping the positives and negatives. Yeah, basically he's flipping the positives and negatives. That's what he's going to be known for. So I do like gun for actually having more of that utility aspect. And then finally, the passive is also called Mutant Hunter here. And very, very similar. He's going to be, once again, sacrificing himself to revive and also generating ability energy. So this is actually exactly the same with that synergy. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, the special, ultimate, and passive are the T4s that make sense for Sentinel because he's going to have value in and outside of raids being part of Orchis tech. Now, as for the ISO-8, if we want to ensure his survivability, you want to make sure that he is staying alive longer, I think Fortifier is probably going to make the most sense. ISO-8 purple is going to have a lot more value now because it actually changes the dynamic. So I think I'm going to be leaning more towards keeping him alive, especially at lower star levels for Fortifier. Where you potentially could slot him in differently once we have him built up is maybe the Striker. The Striker can take advantage of more of these counters. But otherwise, if you need some more additional assistance and maybe adding vulnerables, obviously Raider or Skirmisher can always do that. But I think Fortifier is going to be the heavy favorite, and then Striker for utility. And if you need vulnerables, always you can obviously opt to have some different uses for the vulnerables. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Good luck in your guys' orb opening as well if you guys are doing any, and the red stars. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.